at a certain time. Start the ritual. You can end up saying, you can join me to watch TV. I know that this is very old school and you don't want to be with anybody, but you know, watch them. We can just watch your family thing together. If you want to play a game, something like that. But the chaos that happens in a household, especially when you have all those staggered ages. I don't know about you, we always had that rule where it's like, downstairs becomes ours. I don't care how old you are. You don't have to go to sleep. The older you get, fine, but you still need to go. You got a room, we pay for it. Go in your room. Let me have my house at a certain time. Because it sets that tone for a lot different, so that then they end up, God forbid, they end up finding something to do that might be just a little bit lax, a little bit things. Work with that. But we're not, a lot of these children were never self-soothers to begin with. You know what I'm saying on that? Where a lot of them, we had to rock them to get them to sleep. There's all these little tricks that you know, and so it's like always dance. Same thing. To this day, they may be 17 and still cannot self-soothe enough to where they can get themselves to sleep. They want to, no, I've got to have the TV on. And then that is just triggering a neurological nightmare. And that's the whole thing that you've got to remember about these children. What happens on their subconscious level is going all the time. And so even if they're asleep, they're not in good REM sleep. They're not in a deep sleep. Most of our kids too, they're so obsessive with what they do. That's why you have to get everything out of their room. Because they're going to just look at that TV, not as a TV, they're just going to look at it and just say, I could be gaming right now. I bet if I ended up trying this instead of that, I could have probably done this. And I'm just saying that, it's just taunting me. It's dark, but I know it's taunting me. Turn me on. Is anybody asleep? And then you're asking it. And even if they don't get out of the bed and go do it, they're still thinking it. Get everything out of the room that's a distraction. We have some students that literally, we've had to suggest, and they've had to actually follow through with it, is we have some students that cannot read at night. And I'm actually sort of in that, I cannot put a book down sometimes. I'm sitting out in the middle of it, it's like, I pay a horrible price. Because you know it's like, okay, you tell yourself, one more chapter, and I mean it. I am going to shut this down. One more chapter. Well, they're the same way. Whether it's a video, whether it's one more chapter. One more. Was reading horrible? Of course not. But if it gets in the way, an obsessive behavior, which we got a lot of, an obsessive behavior gets in the way of what you need to do in your life. It affects your life. So that's why we have to help them. They need physical boundaries. They're very physical. They cannot just shut it out in here. That's just not going to work. That's why our learning centers are set up. When you're in the learning center, you work. When you're at the learning center, you play. When you're in art, you're art. Different rules Mr. Bland has in his. Different rules Mr. McChristian has in his. You don't use art's rules and Mr. McChristian's rules. But what, have you noticed, they don't share the same room. That's very confusing for them, because our kids don't know boundaries. So they need physical things to literally help them adjust to what they need to do. Same way again, it gets back to the food. A lot of that means it's school day, I can't eat trash. Because what do I need to do on school day? Starts with a W. Work. This is off day. I can have that. Oh, I can have it. Oh, okay, because it's off and it's not. You see how we start training them to learn, look, I'm working this time. I need to be able to train my body. That's when you end up with successful college students. When did you learn how your habits were in college? Isn't that when you first started realizing that you were going to, if you were a procrastinator and you couldn't do math at 8 a.m. in the morning, but then you procrastinated because you don't sign up on time, so then you get stuck with the 8 o'clock classes. There's now it's a whole lot different, but you learn by the mistakes. What we're trying to do is get these kids to start learning much more earlier. And if they can learn how they learn, can you imagine exponentially what they will be able to succeed? And so that's literally what you're trying to do. So everything that's physical, phones, every electronic device needs to be charged, not in their room. Now summertime, it's been summer, but now we're going to start school. Change, okay? It's fine. Change the way. All right, now it's work. So even if they want to sit up with it, again, it is a weapon of mass distraction. They're Facebooking. They cannot do anything. What if somebody has a like? Have they liked me? I don't know. Did they like the comment? I don't know what happens. It's ding, ding, ding. Look how us as adults, how we've gotten to be so driven to check that. Can you imagine if you're a kid that doesn't have any ability to be able to discern? That's what they like the most, is discerning. And so the younger they are, we're expecting these ridiculous amounts of self-discipline out of the children who least have that. As you get older, you have more discipline. But then yet, have you noticed how you're able to choose your own job and choose when you take your classes in college, but then yet in younger kids, you don't get any choices? There's something backwards with that. And that's the other reason in what we're trying to do. So physically, and that's what the handbook does a lot. That's what everything that in deciding that, so you have those physical boundaries so that they're able to shut off and understand. Same way as playing around. I'm going to just step on Dad's toes. That's the thing that always gets. So moms are too soft and dads are too hard. That's what's happening. Great. They need that balance. That's absolutely great. But I will caution you, again, our children don't know boundaries. So when you make exceptions, so mom says, oh, okay, well, I'm going to pick you up because you were doing so good, I'm going to go ahead and let you do that. To most children, exceptions becomes the immediate rule. They have forgotten all of everything else because it's not very specific. For them, it's like, well, you let me do that, so now here's the way. It's automatically, I didn't get in trouble for it, so it must now be okay. It's just, look, I was just exhausted. I didn't even notice that you left the house with no clothes on. I just was, I had a rough night. It's like, well, now we can go naked to school. No, that is not what this means. So let's do the next. Absences, make sure of your absences. That's the #1 coping mechanism for our students. The psychosomatics. I do not feel good, and they generally maybe just, it is mind over matter. It is amazing how worked up they can get themselves. Take heed that that's a coping. If they're going to be home because they're actually vomiting, because God knows they can even work that up, they need to work. They need to get some work done. Because remember, this is the amount. If this is all the amount of that they have to get through, then being absent, we come back, it's still here. Well, what happened? It doesn't disappear. Just like in our life, work doesn't disappear because we're on vacation. They save it for us. It's beautiful. And you just have everybody, no, people don't just mysteriously come in, I did all your work for you. You know, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen with absences either. There's genuine reasons, but when you start getting into the tardy phases and all that, this starts getting pretty serious. And so there are some of the specific, genuine reasons, but be very careful about that because you are allowing them to get into a coping mechanism that is extremely dangerous. And that is a real popular way of being fired. It's not showing up. Don't you hate that? Where some of those, there's so much drama in their life, they're sick. You're setting your child up to let drama just affect everything. It's uncomfortable, I get it. But it's not a deal breaker. It's the classification of, well, so what? Learn to live with it. Arrival at school tardy. You got to check your kid in, okay? Don't come driving by at 10 after 8 and just throw your kid out and say, run. You have to check in because the gate is closed. It's a safety issue, okay? We don't want children walking around on the campus that we don't know are not here. We're assuming that they're going to be absent then. At that point, then they usually go on that absent rank. There's no one out there. It's either that or we all have to hold all of our classes out and just wait for everybody. And then if we did that at 5 after, then it would have to be to 10 after, then 15. There has to be a cutoff somewhere. That doesn't mean your child is not tardy if they're after 8. It just means that you don't have to come in because by that time we end up going with the pledge and can walk on in and do our thing. So parents must sign in after 8:05. Tardies become unexcused absences. Unexcused absences can lead to not having credit. And what's really amazing is the kids that are wanting to drive, it's called a VOE form. It's in your handbook now. By law, you have to attend 90% of the classes. Isn't that amazing? Yes, you will lose the ability to be able to get a signed form. It's totally up to everyone. So these are some things that it's like if the state can even say, you people need to show up, then we can certainly encourage the same thing. So just keep mind of that, because those tardies, 3 tardies is an unexcused, okay? Now, if it's after, if it's after 15 minutes, what was?
It's 8:00.
That's a change that we have in here, so we make it very clear. No, it's unexcused after, what's that page number it says? 10 to 12. That is something that we just changed. Sorry. If it ends up being that they're late enough, it will be an automatic unexcused. Same way as absences in general. Unless you make up the work, it is unexcused. That way that all the students and everyone realizes work, if you get your work done, then you can have excused. Watch your family absences as well. All right, dress code. Let me get you. All right.
Okay, so your Bible, have you all heard that enough tonight? There was going to be 5 tabs in this red binder that you're going to see every single day. And the very first tab is going to be this week's daily goal sheet, today's goal sheet. And the reason I'm going back to that is because last year was the first year that we implemented Castaway Friday. So for those of you who have been here in the past, was that a good motivator for your kids or something that you wish we would trash this year? Okay, I'm saying good motivator for our kids. So that was the one thing that our students really struggled with self-motivation. Part of earning Castaway Friday is that they've completed all 5 days worth of goals by Thursday at 3 o'clock. And they've earned enough behavior points in order to qualify for it. And in order to earn it, you can only lose 3 points for the entire week. So in that front section, you're going to have not only the daily goal sheet, but a behavior sheet. So you want to look at that every single day, sign it, initial it, make sure that you know exactly what's going on with your kid. So when it comes to tardies, you get a yes or a no. Did your kid arrive on time? 8:01 is not on time, you get a no. That's minus 1 point towards Castaway Friday. Are you in dress code? That's where this comes in. So Monday, Wednesday, for those students who are in PE, some of the older high school students do not take PE, so they do not have the PE dress code. Notice that on the dress code for their shirts, it is solid color only. No stripes, no logos, no nothing. Black, gray, navy. But what about white? White is not allowed because it's too thin, you can see through it, they sweat, they get dirty, they're just, they don't know how to use a napkin. No white. Solid colored shorts. Well, I can't find any solid color shorts. Have you looked at Walmart? They're there. No stripes down the side. Not allowed. That is a not in dress code. You get a violation and a no, minus a point towards your Castaway.
Change that next one. Yeah.
Yes. On the colder days, we will allow sweats. Same navy, gray, black. Solid colors. Shoes, notice no sandals. We do not want them wearing slip-on Vans. Their shoes have to be tied or Velcroed, regular tennis shoes. They're going to be out in that field, if you haven't seen it, full of rocks, mulch, all kinds of stuff that's not an even flat surface. We're not on like a concrete surface on our campus. We got a lot of hills and dips and bumps, and so shoes are really important. No tank tops and no graphic t-shirts. So this is Monday, Wednesday PE dress, only for students that are in PE classes, and they should just wear it all day long. Some of the older high school students, if they choose, we can talk about, they can change into their PE clothes for PE, but same dress code applies. Okay. There's a rubric that is in your handbook, and if your student tries to wear something to school, you need to say, what does the dress code say? Make them find it, and make them show you that they're allowed to wear it. So please be very, very familiar with the dress code. holes in their jeans. We don't want ratty jeans. Yes, it's allowed in public schools. We don't want ratty looking kids coming to our campus.
Page 40 is the rubric.
Page 40 is the rubric. So that is something that will be sent home if your student has a dress code violation. So make sure that your pants, they can wear dress pants, they can wear jeans, but no holes and ripped up, faded colored looking jeans. We do not want to see spandex, cargo pants with the big old pockets because they're going to get tripped up and caught on stuff. Nothing skinny jeans or baggy, saggy, pull it up and wear a belt. Shorts are allowed as long as they're not big baggy pockets, and no athletic shorts unless it's PE or Friday, which is a special day. And then skirts and dresses, no tank top dresses, nothing tight fitting, and we want it knee length or longer for the dresses. Next page. And it says Tuesday, Thursday because it has been Monday, Wednesday PE school-wide for the majority of our students, so that's why it says Tuesday, Thursday. Shirts can be just about anything, even t-shirts, but nothing that's got any branding on it or the Rastafari, whatever, stuff, none of that. And there are really specific skulls, monsters, whatever that's not allowed in there. So be careful with the t-shirts that have anything graphic on it. It must be appropriate for our school, for our environment.
These are last year, so we're allowing, you'll notice on here, hoodies are allowed this year, because the jersey type, see how it says unacceptable on the coats, jackets, sweaters? Hoodies are allowed, but they're not allowed, and you cannot put your hoodie on. So we're allowing it now, so the kids, if they want to wear their hoodies outside and all that, so as soon as they go outside, that's fine.
Right.
But just not inside.
Right. So, and we don't want the big heavy coats. They do not belong inside the classrooms in the learning centers. So the buildings are kept at a good temperature that a sweater should suffice during the colder weather for them. Next page. Shoes. You will notice teachers wearing flip-flops. That's because we are adults on campus. Students not allowed. So if they ever say, well, my teacher wears flip-flops, yeah. And your teacher pays your own medical insurance. So because the terrain on our campus is unique to most schools, shoes are kind of a big deal. So we don't want kids getting the mulch or the bark or a stick or a rock or a nail or a whatever stuck in their foot. It's just be really aware of their shoes and make sure. Nothing high heels because again, they're gonna fall on their face. So athletic shoes, casual shoes, all those are good. We do not want the open-toed shoes for our kids because of just the type of ground that we have on campus. So be aware that a lot of the dress code is going to affect not only their ability to focus in their classroom, the ability of other students to focus in the classroom, the safety of the students in the classroom, but it could also affect their Castaway Friday. So they've got to be aware of that. All right, and I think the next should be, oh, yes. Violations. Ain't nobody want to see that. So slippers, not allowed unless it's a special slipper jammy day that we happen to have for a fun special occasion. See those faded jeans, holey jeans, baggy jeans, shorts, athletic gear, not allowed on a Tuesday, Thursday, or if your student doesn't take PE, they can't wear athletic shorts. No leggings, whole saggy. Okay. Yeah, midriff, no wording down the legs of your sweats, and especially not across the backside, because we don't need that. And notice Mr. Cleavage on the far side over there. Yeah, not a good look. Dress code Fridays. Fridays, we would dismiss at noon, and many of our students have earned their Castaway Friday. So we are, so Fridays is more of a casual day, and the athletic shirts for their favorite sports teams are definitely allowed. They can wear those PE shorts with the stripes down the side. So if your student loves those, maybe they want to come on a Friday just so they can wear them to school one day. I don't know. But they are allowed on Fridays. So the holey jeans, never allowed ever. The skinny jeans, the leggings, the saggy baggy, never allowed. But jerseys, and sports equipment or sports stuff,